So, we go into the fifth chapter of the fifth Inca, Capac Yupanque, and I call this chapter Fraticide for a Union. Well, again, in this book, I am more or less trying to show or give an idea of who the Incas were. Because let's not forget that one time during the conquest, there was discussion, there was a dialogue as whether the Indians were human beings. So throughout the chapters, I'm trying to prove that we were as human beings as those of the old world, and all with their faults, all the human faults that we have, passions of love, war, power. So that is why I said fratricide for union, which happened in the old world. We well know there were fights among brothers and sisters, and there were fratricides and so on. And Maita Capac is, as is usual, there is, when there are multiple children or large families, there are always problems. And apparently there were about 7 or 10 children here. And apparently they elected Maita Capac, but the other brothers thought that he was not capable to be the Zapa Inca, and they tried to kill him. But he realizes that's what's happened, and he actually kills a few of them, and he and about 7 of his brothers are kept alive with the condition that they would follow him, they would do what he says, and in other words, he committed this fratricide for the sake of the union of the empire, or the continuation of the empire, or the aggrandizement of the empire. So this is why we call the fratricide for a union.
Estamos con el doctor Carlos Sánchez, soy el profesor Rafael Cifuentes, Lima, Perú, 22 de abril del año 2018. Estamos en el quinto Inca, Capac Yupanque, ¿no? Capac Yupanque, como heredero del trono, no le pertenecía, ¿no? Él no estaba el elegido, no era el primogénito, ¿no? Y en este capítulo nos relatas, ¿no?, cómo le cuestionas incluso al Inca cómo es que llegó a ser rey, la pregunta, ¿no? Detállanos a ver en tus palabras.
Yeah.
¿no?
Professor Cifuentes is asking me again, how is that this Inca becomes the next emperor? And as explained, there were many brothers, and he was not supposed to be the one, but somehow he got elected to be the emperor, or to carry the Mascai Pacha or the crown. And however, we saw many brothers that were thirsty for power. They tried to kill him, but again, he was able to kill a couple of them, and then try to instruct his other brothers to continue on with the formation of the empire. And that is what this chapter is all about. Now, how it takes place, as I read, keep in mind that is the essence of the chapter, fratricide for the union. Yeah. So we're into the fifth chapter of the fifth Inca, Capac Yupanque, and I named it as fratricide for a union. We will see why as I start to read. Capac Yupanque, how did you get to be the inheritor of the throne? History says that you were not the firstborn. Oh, you are that man who comes to his past as the pessimist Kuntursoul. I see that you are aware of our political intrigues and family disputes. This is not going to be an auguries trip. Perhaps it won't be, because our encounter embraces the spectrum of our human frailties. Then let me tell you how I became to be the lord of the land. It all started with my father, who dismissed our eldest brother, Tarko Waman, from inheriting the throne, and he named me in his place. My other siblings thought that they were more capable than I, and they tried to do away with me. Instead, I got rid of some of them. From what I perceived, you used fratricide to form a union. That is politics. I was the first Inca to impose the concept of one absolute ruler as a necessity to form an empire. Capac Yupanque. What you were initiating was a dictatorship. We did not know of any other better system of government other than to follow our instinct of domination over others. Months later, the Inca left for the northwest, where the Chancas were terrorizing the Quechua nation. He formed a federation with the Chumbivilcas, Rucanas, and Soras, and secured the valleys. After his successful campaign for the Kuntursoul, the Inca returned to Cusco. His legitimate brother, who went to scout the southern coast, were also back. Tito, did you have to fight? Father, I followed your instructions and no battles were fought. The coastal people are artistically minded and they also make their desert bloom. However, some practice sodomy. The eradication of some was carried out as you have ordered. Capac Yupanque, did you order the killing of innocent people who are not even your subjects? Kuntursoul, I hope these unusual practices are reproached in your times. Yes, they are, but we're learning to be tolerant of them. It goes along with the core of our liberties. Nobody deserves to be ostracized for something that we don't understand. Man of the future, you are just as biased and even intolerant to us, the dead. You are worse than the foreign conquerors who dug our graves for gold, but you have come to torment our souls. The Inca went on an expedition to the south with his son Inca Roca. Sometime after their return from the Colla Suyo, bringing with them two Colla nobles, Cari and Chipana, descendants of two powerful lords who had no more lands to conquer and then became enemies. Inca, those two warlords could have destroyed you. They did not, because they were entangled with their own battles. Unknown to each other, they sought our help. We became their arbiters. We explained to them that if they continue fighting, other small town leaders would unite and destroy both. We saved them from slaughtering each other, and we formed a confederation. Was it that easy? Oh no. Inca Roca told them if they didn't come to an understanding, I would have to take sides and fight against one of them. So this trip was worth it, for any union is always welcome if there's a danger ahead. Yes, and there are so many territories that I need to unite, but my age makes that impossible. I will send my son. Inca Roca, we have gone to the west, the south, and we have tried to infiltrate the east. I want you to build a bridge farther north and continue to the Chinchay Suyo. If you find people, let them know that someday we will become an empire. Following the Apurima River, Inca Roca found no towns or inhabitants. Kuntursoul, we should build a bridge as ordered by my father, but we need 1,000 workers and we have no one around to help us. We have to cross the river using ropes and pulleys on both shores. On the thunderous river that runs below canyons of massive rocks, people fell into the freezing waters in their attempt to place their initial ropes. Inca Roca was aware that crossing was part of mastering the elements. If overcome, victory was half won. Once on the other side, they descended from the high Cordilleras, arriving to the city of Nazca in the middle of the desert. Kuntursoul, now that we are in the desolate places, with no mountains to echo our inner thoughts, tell me if we were on the road to form a great nation. Young Prince, I would say that the Incas accomplished the social welfare for their subject, but in the process they neglected to give their people a chance to develop to their full potential as individuals. Man on the future, how else could we have formed an empire? And besides, it is too late to undo our wrong deeds. Young Incas, just as the sun revolves, so must our humanity evolve to mend the past. Perhaps our missteps are respite in our unending existence of eternal sameness. Then, can we correct the misdeed of our past? We're doing as we speak, for we're recapturing those false runs in the innermost of our thoughts. If we can do that, our destiny will be in our hands. Kuntursoul, you're talking to non-existent beings. That would never happen with the living. Young Prince, who knows? Perhaps the world in which we live doesn't even exist. It is our thoughts that creates the energy to be what we are. And we can probably reverse our wrongdoings. Are these Nazca lines distorting your mind? And here everybody knows about the Nazca lines. Yes, well, Inca Roca. All I'm trying to say is that we can mend our past by getting to know about our ancestors who are non-existent, but neither are our future descendants. Yet we should leave a better world for them. Kuntursoul, let's get out of this unusual landscape. This land is so arid that only the Yungas or northern people can make a living out of such a desolation. It reminds me that between the Apurimac River and the Cordilleras, there are similar warm lands, and our people cannot work the land due to the heat. I will take some of these coastal people to work as miti maes in our hot areas, thoughtful of not transporting people from a torrid climate to a frigid one or vice versa, and perish in a place that they are not accustomed to. Young Inca, the miti maes might have been a good idea, except that the conquerors moved human labor irrespective of where they were sent to, and that is how millions of our ancestors died. The prince returned to Cusco. Inca Roca, you have been gone for some time. Father Inca, we went as far north as we could, but we found no people. We crossed the Apurimac River and we went to Nazca, where there are unusual lines that go nowhere. The south is where we must put all our efforts. Their people are more like us, and they will eventually help us against the Chancas. Did Kuntursoul try to subvert our people like he attempted with other young novels? I think he's trying to tell us something that we're not understanding due to the difference of our times. He says that he has a plan after he meets with all the Incas. What could that be, and what for? He wants to form a council of the 13 Incas to expose the plight of our descendants to a court in the old world, and perhaps regain our dignity. My son, let that be in the future. We're in the past, and it's time that you take command. We're more united than we were ever. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of some of your uncles and it's beginning to haunt me, especially with the visit of Kuntursoul, who has placed a weight of guilt in my dust. Father, that remorsefulness in our forgotten souls will never go away, but at least it will help our descendants to think and overcome the demons of our legacy. I hope the Magna Future presents our manifesto to the World Court. Maybe those men of justice will rule in our favor, as they are doing for other races and nations who were also subjugated. However, nothing will be given to us from the goodness of their hearts. We have to proceed with the same tenacity as those people of the old world who came and keep on coming to the American continent to be free by taking away our freedom. Capac Yupanque, are these your last words? Yes, man of the future. You have awakened an ire in my soul, and I was disgusted with you. But you must comprehend that we were not the Indians of your days who have lost the will to fight what is theirs. Inca, I have to leave you with that thought in mind, for history is not sure how you left this world.